Is it okay to have female friends if you have a girlfriend?
Yes.
Why?
Because unless you're in high school, which you're not, women need to stop projecting their weird insecurities onto decent, loyal, good men. Like this weird fear that your female friends are gonna swoop up your man is ridiculous.
Okay. So then I can have a guy friend, right?
No, that's totally different.
No, how is that different?
Because obviously the men are trying to sleep with the women. Wait. Never mind.
Oh, God.
Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give our praises to Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai, Hashem Kakodash, double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations unto the 144,000. Right? Salakia. Let's have a cough here. I was just watching the other video about honey. Now they give me some honey for this. But slack here in advance if it is you're hearing me rain. It's pouring real hard. If you're not hearing it, then all praises to about Shai. Right? So we just saw this video here, right? You saw she sat there questioning him and whatnot, right? Now, last night I had a conversation about this same thing with someone. I actually got this video from that person and it inspired me to do a lesson, right? But honestly speaking, I don't know why it is I even waste so much of my time. But I mean, the stupidity of Jake, it boils your blood to a different level. I honestly get real mad last night, and then I had to come down and be like, hey, Kyle, this is how the Lord wants it. He blind 2/3 of his people. A matter of fact, let's start with that. This is a scripture that have to come out because it just literally just speaking facts. Romans 11:7, it says, what then? Israel had not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election had obtained it, and the rest were blinded. Right? So, Jake, they were seeking for answers. They want clarity and things like, hey, the Lord is the one that blind them. So they have no understanding. Right? And even more so, the woman. This is Job 39:17. It says, because the Most High had deprived her of wisdom, neither had he imparted to her understanding. Right? What time she lifted up herself on high, she scorned the horse and his rider. Right? Talking about the pride. Right? You get these women an inch to take a yard. Right? That's why is which book it in, boy? It's in Sirach. I think it's in Sirach 25. Let me see here. Sirach 25:25. It says, give the water no passage, neither a wicked woman liberty to guard abroad. Right? It says, if she go not as thou wouldest have her, cut her off from thy flesh, and give her a bill of divorce, and let her go. Right? I really should have started from verse 24, because it says, of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. Right? Even verse 19. Right? That's why I love this chapter so much. I did how much videos on it. It says, all wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. Let the portion of a sinner fall upon her. Right? Because why? Women out here just wicked. Wicked. You understand? Especially women without wisdom. The wicked. Because, as I said, I got this video from her and I had a discussion, about this. Right? But what they fail to realize is that they will watch a video like this, right, from some weak ass nigga in the world and feel like she just proved her point, right? But what you all fail to realize is that a man and a woman is not on the same level. You understand? And I give her a blunt example, right? Because she basically want to say, because I don't want you to have male friends, she don't want me to have female friends, right? So in other words, I told her like this. I say, if it is I have a dick, does that mean you should have a dick too? She said no. I say vice versa. If you have a cunt, that don't mean I want a cunt. You understand? Your role as a woman different to mine as a man. You understand? That's your role. Right? And we are to go into the meaning of what the word woman means and all these things, because I even brought that out to her. Right? But let me read 2 more precepts here about the position of a man. And before I go to the 1 Corinthians, let me read the 1 Timothy. Alright, 1 Timothy 2. I'll just read that actually I could read at verse 9. Right? It says, in like manner also, that women adorn themselves in modest apparel, with shamefacedness and sobriety, not with broidered hair, or gold, or pearls, or costly array, but which becometh women professing godliness with good works. Right? So now taking this part, it say with good works. Where's good works for a man? Right? For us to go out and preach. Right? That's the works of a man. That's how we profess our good works. Right? By doing the will of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, which he commanded us to go and preach this word and these things. You understand? This here now is what he telling. This is the works for a woman. Right? To dress modestly and all these things, and basically be obedient to your husband, because you can get that in the book of 1 Peter 3 and 9. It's 1 Peter 3 and 9. But I know it's in the book of Peter. I think it's 1 Peter 3 and 9. Right? It speaks about Abraham and Sarah. Right? Sarah calling him Lord. Right? And it says, ye daughters ye are. Right? Which I'll read that also. But let me finish this here. Because actually, let me get it, because I want to jump back. I will change the topic slightly. Right? Well, the point that I'm trying to make. Right? So let me get this first. 1 Peter 3 and 9. Right? Let me see. It's not 3 and 9, it's 3 and 6. Right? Well, let me start from verse 5. 1 Peter 3 and 5, it says, for after this manner in the old time, the holy women also, who trusted in the Most High, adorn themselves, being in subjection unto their own husband. Right? You know what the word subjection means? It means under. Right? Someone have dominion over you, which in this case would be who? Your husband. Right? It says, even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord. Right? This was a woman of wisdom. Right? Because she knew that he is her Lord. Right? She knew if she wants to please the Lord, she has to please her husband. Because you can't give your husband beams and then you expect to be in good tidings with the Lord. Right? That messed up. And regardless of how you think and feel, that is the reality, that is the truth. Right? But as I said before, I mean, women are really emotional. So it's not much you could do. Right? And when it comes especially explaining logic to them. Right? Because they want to put themselves on the same level. Right? And that's the thing. I explained to her, say, a man and a woman not on the same level. Right? So you trying to compare yourselves to me ain't going to reach anywhere. And she like, I'm not comparing myself to you. Right? But yet still every minute she's saying, don't do unto me what I do, what I am. What she say? You can't do unto me what I can't do unto you. And I was like, bruh, what you saying not making any kind of sense. You understand? Because really and truly, let's go into the fine point, right? based on the video, right? She asked him, why a man could have female friends, right? Well, let me give you my response, right? I gave her two reasons to when I replied to her status of the video, right? I says one, firstly, a man capable of having more than one wife, right? A man could have more than one wife. There's nothing wrong with a man having more than one wife, right? A woman cannot have more than one husband, right? So in terms of having so-called friends, right? Because even the guys say the men just want to sleep with the women, right? Which is true for the most part, right? But for a man being able to sleep with more than one woman, right? It doesn't rule out the fact that he could have more than one woman, right? Well, female friends, I should say, right? Now, obviously, as men in the truth, we're not going to deal up with women who married and all these things, right? But we already understand that point. So if you're talking to 10 single women, right, or 10 virgins, whatever it is, which will be hard to find because we know this reality, you know, but give an example, right? If we have 10, if we form 10 virgins, right, and then my wife come to tell me, hey, I don't want you talking to them 10 girls, right? I gonna turn around and watch she like if she crazy. Because you can't tell me, right, not to talk to these women. But I could tell you not to talk to those men. You understand? And it's just so I tell the girl, right? And she'll watch it as it unfair, right? Now again, I already knew at that point it don't make sense, but the more I speak about it, is like the more I just get inspired to do the video, right? So I kept going at it, and she was like, that unfair, it shouldn't be so X, Y, and Z and all these things. I said, hey, this is not my rules, this is the Lord's rule, right? Because she claimed to believe in the Bible, but yet still she being rebellious to the Bible. I say, you can't tell me you believe in the Bible, but you only accepting some of it. I say, you're a demon. You're not accepting, you can't accept half the Bible, so therefore you do not believe in the Bible. Okay, you can pick and choose where you like and where you don't like. You understand? So in other words, what you're telling me is that you don't believe in the Bible, right? Because if you strongly going against what it is the Lord saying, then hey, you don't believe what it is coming out of the word. You might want to hear things like, oh, we're going to be in the kingdom, this and that, right? But when you read Hebrews 4 and 12, it said the word of the Lord is like a two-edged sword. You understand? It is cut you. Every single person who in this truth or who hear the truth been cut by the word, because all of us in sinful flesh, right? But the ones who in the truth, the Lord showed us mercy. You understand? That's the main point, of course. But you know what? The things that cut us, we learn to accept it and be like, hey, this is the will of the Lord, this is how he wants it. You understand? We can't afford to do this if it is we want to please the Lord. And which leads me to the second point, is that a woman cannot have male friends because you all are the weaker vessels, right? You all are the weaker vessels. So I turn around and said to her, say, if me and you was together, right? I say, if I speak into multiple women, right, and let me say I end up catching feelings for them, I have done no wrong, right? But if you have male friends and they catch you at your lowest point, especially because that's the best time when men does catch women, right? When women in the lowest point in the emotional state, you know, especially when they're in a relationship and the so-called man giving them problems so-called, because you know most of the time it's them gaining man problems or whatever, right? But they're at the lowest point and they go on to tell our next man their business, and that man is a wicked man. He not righteous in the sense of say, hey, go and work it out with your husband. He would utilize that position to gain her pants. He would say, well, you shouldn't listen to, you shouldn't have to go through them thing. You should come, let me, I always here for you, I will take you out, you know, I will be here for you, you'll be a peace, whatever it is. And she can watch that as my knight in shining armor, you know, and eventually, boom, he not draws, you know. And that's how it go. So why would it why bruh, why would you want to have male friends? You understand? The same thing you could request from your husband, the same advice, the same love, the same care, whatever it is you're expecting to so-called get from the other man is what your husband's supposed to be giving you. You understand? But you see, the thing about it is, women, as I did the video probably a month or two ago, right? Kryptonite, right? Accountability is their kryptonite. If women learn to accept, right, and be accountable for the shit that they be doing, and actually fix certain things about themselves, right, it would be a lot easier to cope with them, right? Especially when they cope with your husband. You understand? Because if it is he explaining something there, right, it's to sit down and try and understand what it is he's saying, right? And it's the same way he will give you that respect in regards to listening to how it is you feel and these kind of things, right? But if he giving you instructions about something and you bucking up against it, you expect he to give you a response that's suited to your spirit. So in other words, you're trying to tell me regardless of how you act and how you feel, we should comfort you, right? Even though you're not gonna listen. That's crazy. That's crazy. And then they will call it manipulative and all these things. You understand? Let me read over verse 6. 1 Peter 3:6. It said, even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord, whose daughters ye are, as long as ye do well, right? And are not afraid with any amazement, right? So that's the thing. So you are the daughters of Sarah. You understand? But you all can't be the daughters of Sarah if you're just bugging. You understand? Just being straight up demons. I told her, I said, no one perfect, you know. No one's perfect. Nobody expecting it to be a perfect woman. Right? We are not perfect men. Right? But having some kind of accountability and having some kind of understanding, right, it goes a long way. Right? Actually sitting down and taking the time to realize and not think with your emotions. Right? Not think with your emotion. It goes a long way. It goes a long way. But let's go back to the 1 Peter 2. Let me see. Continuing verse 11, it says, let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. Again, that is to be under, right? But who she going to be under? Verse 12 says, but I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man. So there is two conditions that the Lord said in this one scripture, right? You're not supposed to teach, right? Nor to usurp authority over a man, which is the main point we're dealing with here. Because you usurping authority over a man, as you could see in society, right? Women who put in high positions, look what has happened, right? They get puffed up, they get, like all high and mighty, and they ultimately just want to do wickedness to the man, right? The man could be how kind, but because they're ruled by the emotion, the simplest thing, if the guy, let's say they fall in love with the guy don't like them, they're gonna do everything in their power. They're gonna go out of their way to make that guy life a living hell in his job. You understand? That's the reality of it. But the Lord say not to usurp authority over a man, but to be in silence. Right? You're supposed to be in silence. When your man speaking to you, you're supposed to listen. Right? And when I say listen, it's not just hearken, You're supposed to hearken, yes, but when he's speaking, you sit there, you listen to what it is he's saying, and not just sit down and watch with that kind of face like, I so far about this. You sit down, you listen attentively, and actually take heed to what it is he's saying, so that you could cope and understand. So therefore your response afterward, it wouldn't sound ridiculous, right? Or it wouldn't just be outright stupid, or you're just giving a response based on your emotion, because that's what a lot of women do. Some of them might just sit down and listen to what it is saying, but the whole time they let you talk, they already have some emotional speech in their mind to give after, because their response will be, yeah, but X, Y, and Z. It's always yeah, but, right? It's not, that is true way of saying, I should really fix that about myself, And, as you say that, I also would mention that, you did X, Y, and Z to me that I wasn't comfortable with, and, things like this. You understand? Giving responses like that is like showing that respect, you know? Hold on. Alright. And that's what they feel to realize, giving that respect to a man. Because funny enough, right? I think it was yesterday, but earlier during the day, right? I was watching a video with the elder. It wasn't yesterday, day before yesterday, right? It was the Sabbath. Yeah. And I was on my porch and I was listening to the elder's video where he was basically going into the woman and a man, because some lady was saying how if a woman doesn't have a husband or a father, she don't have to listen to a man, which is utter bullshit. It didn't say here not to usurp authority over your husband or your father. It says over a man, period. Any man, right? It could be a vagrant on the street, and you could be having billions of dollars, you still not above him, right? But of course they're not going to believe or accept that, because why? They're all in the emotions, and this society push their unrighteous desires. You understand? But continuing in verse 13, it says, for Adam was first formed, and then Eve. And Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived in the transgression. Notwithstanding, she shall be saved in childbearing, if they continue in faith and charity and holiness with sobriety. So you see, it says if they, that is the condition that they have to meet. If you continue in faith, obviously you see this woman has no faith, right? Charity, right? I wouldn't even say she charitable, right? Holiness, well, that out the door, and sobriety, waste of time, right? Even if, let's say, the little bit of charity that she shows, right? Let's give her that, right? She's still in meet the condition of the other three, right? You meet the condition of the other three, and it's not, if you do one, the others could go. You had to do one out of the four. No, you had to do all four, right? Because it's like us, we can't say, well, we go have the faith, but I ain't gonna do the works. Once I have the faith, I will get saved. No, the Lord say faith without works is dead. You understand? So we have to do all these things what we can't do. You understand? This is what we have to do. That is the requirements that the Lord set for the man, and for the woman, these are the requirements. But you all consistently want to keep putting yourself on the same level as a man, right? And we know you're not gonna watch us, as the top men right now, because why? We are the lowest of the low. We even beneath you when it comes to this side of the world. You understand? When it comes to this world. And when I say beneath you, meaning in the sense of, how Esau have us in terms of money and status and all these things, right? But spiritually, regardless, we are above you, right? Physically, mentally, and spiritually. You understand? But all these things gonna come to an end soon when Isaiah 4:1 come into play, because of the times that coming. All you women who playing your bugging and feeling like, I don't need a man, I independent. That's fuckery. That's fuckery. Let's go to the 1 Corinthians. Yeah. So this is 1 Corinthians 11 and verse 3. It says, but I would have you know that the head of every man is a Mashiach, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of a Mashiach is Yahweh. Right? So Yahweh Shai, man, then woman, right? But let's even continue down. It says, every man praying or prophesying, having his head covered, dishonoreth his head. Who is his head? Yahweh Shai, right? But every woman that prayed or prophesied with her head uncovered, dishonoreth her head. For that is even all one as if she was shaven, right? So if it is she have her head uncovered, she dishonored her head. But who's her head? The man, right? Now if you have a husband now, and you been told, hey, cover your head, and she don't want to do it, the Lord ain't gonna answer her prayer. And as the scripture in Numbers said, right, there's a scripture in Numbers that speaks about the power that the husband and even the father has, right? If she not married the father, if she married the husband, right? The power that the Lord give unto a man is that if it is she make a vow or she pray, and the husband or the father don't like it or don't agree with it, they have the power to disannul that prayer or that vow. You understand? And that is the reality of it. So she, as a woman, you could sit down and pray how much you want. I really want this, I really want this, I really want this. And if the husband don't agree with it, that's it. You're not gonna get it. Because the Lord not gonna answer your prayer. Because why? Again, you're just on your emotions. You might say, oh, I want this car, I want this car, I want this car, I want this car. But the husband already know if you get this car, you're not gonna be able to maintain it because it's too much money. Right? But you're not sitting there to think about it logically. You just find it looking nice and you want it. You understand? But the husband had the logical sense to know that, hey, you know him could maintain that vehicle, right? And then on top of it, when it reached to the point that you can't maintain it, all the problems gonna fall back on him. You understand? And that's how men think, right? Men think logically. That's why the Lord put them in a leadership role. But you women want to be outlandish and being straight out demons, right? Because you claiming that you want respect, right? Or a man should show you respect too. But for a man, showing him love is showing respect firstly. You understand? As I saw in one of these TikTok shorts, right? YouTube shorts, I should say. Right, as a woman was explaining, a man does want to feel like a king in his own castle, right? Now we know obviously we're not in our kingdom, right? But given that she's saying that, is understanding that it comes with respect, right? Because if you living with a man, right, in his house, you have to show that man respect and show that submissiveness. You understand? You can't want to be bucking up against him. Right, and then when he trip off and he curling and he don't care about how you feel, right? Because you obviously and clearly don't care about how he feels because you show no kind of respect, right, towards him, and you're gonna overlook that because you looking at as you standing up for your rights, when really and truly is just you just causing problems. And then when it is he tell you something hurtful, right, which might more than likely be the truth, but again, emotions. You want to get in your feelings, and then when he don't give a fuck about how you feel, you're watching it as well. He don't care about me because I telling him how I feel, or he seen me crying and I don't, and he not listening to me. And why the fuck should he listen to you, right? And in the first place, use the one that make him that way. You understand? But women like to play the narcissistic game, right, and trying to flip the screws. Right, and then saying when they do it onto us, bruh, is you bitches be doing these things first. You understand? When I tell you, bro, I get so mad last night, so mad, like my blood literally started to boil. That's why I could only come and do the video this morning because, bro, I got so mad last night when you, like, stupidity literally irritates me. Right? But it reached that extent when it is, you see, spiritually retarded, being spiritually retarded even more annoying. You understand? it's a blessing to have this too, but the, the Lord really the Lord really warned us about scoffers, mockers, unbelievers, and all these kind of people, because bro, this is why it's really to pray and cover yourself, because simple things like this and all could make you bug out, you know, because you say now trying to wonder how stupid one person could be, right, or how stupid Jay could be on the whole. That might make you start to bug out. You know, so you are the prayer covering over yourself as well, dealing with these kind of people. You understand? But I give an example, right? Not to ramble on too long, but I give an example. I say think about it like this, right? I say once again, imagine if me and you together, right? And you giving me these beams. I say think about it like this. I say think about it like this, right? You working at a job, right? And your manager comes, right? Or somebody introduce you, let's say personal HR, right? They introduce you to your manager and say, hey, this is your manager here, right? He's gonna overlook and make sure, you know, everybody doing the correct thing, X, Y, and Z, right? They give you a brief rundown, right? And you're working there a couple months, whatever it is, and you know, let's say you're packing some boxes, right? You're packing products into the boxes or whatever, right? And every day you getting irritated because you find every time you see the manager, he just walking around telling people what to do, looking at you, looking at other people, and he not physically doing anything, right? But when the person from HR came, they already told you that there's a manager, and you already know to the back of your mind that this person above you, right? And he has his task, you has your task, right? So his job is to overlook, make sure everything good, as well as he has his own paperwork, because he had to report to his bosses that are above him, right? So he has his paperwork. So when it is his job really begins to, right? Of course it begins when it is you'll start working, because you have to overlook, right? But his physical job also begins, physical and mental, because it's both to do paperwork, mostly mental, right? But that really begins when it is your finish your work, so he gave up the final report about the production that was done today or whatever it is, right? But you know, you want to basically feel like you're on the same level as your manager, and you turn around to tell the manager, hey, I find you should pack box too, right? He's gonna watch you like you're crazy, because who is you to come and tell him that he should pack box? You understand? You being out of place. So I said it's the same thing with you trying to tell your man he can't have female friends, right? If you can't have male friends, that is not your place. That is not your place. You can't come and tell your man that. That is good. That is being crazy. That is being a bug out. That is being a demon. You understand? Now, a man of the Lord, right? We know the scripture that says not everything that is lawful is expedient, right? And that is something I also explain to her. I say a man of the Lord, if it's the man of the Lord, yes, we know we can have more than one wife. There are some men who have more than one wife and the female accept it or whatever it is, yes, right? But if they know the wife gonna be bugging out on it, right, they will know, well, hey, it's best to, you know, stay with your one wife for now, because that's using wisdom, right? But the point that I was trying to draw, right, just what I'm telling her, the point that I'm trying to draw is that, hey, you still can't come and tell a man he can't have female friends. You understand? That is being out of your place. That is being out of place. Because just like how you can't tell the manager to come and pack box with you, you can't tell your husband he can't do X, Y, and Z. Right? You're not above him, you're not on the same level as him. Right? Because just like how he has to go and report to the boss above him about the production that was done today, the same way as the man, he go and report to the Lord, he pray and ask the Lord for the covering, and he explain, you know, Lord, this happened today, you know, protect me and my wife from X, Y, and Z that happened. You know, that kind of way. You understand? The man is the one that talks directly with the Lord. You know, the Lord deals directly with him. You know, give him the wisdom, give him the guidance. So that, okay, just like how the boss will say, hey, you all did 25 cases today, right? Tomorrow, try and see if you all could push for 30. I will put things in place, maybe hire an extra worker where you all could get 30 cases instead of 25. You know? That is the communication the manager will have with the higher boss, right? Same thing the husband would have with the Lord, right? The Lord see you struggling with something, you put things in place, give you the wisdom, you understand, to push forward for it to benefit both you and your wife, you understand? Because your wife not trying to usurp authority, she giving you that respect, right? That's why the scripture says if she dwell good with thee, you know. I mean that going into something else, but just to use that part, you know, if she dwelling good with thee, you could keep her, right? Whether she in the truth or not. But if it is she in the truth, whether she in the truth or she not in the truth, and she giving her freaking beams, that is hell. You understand? Your woman just being a straight up demon. You understand? But hey, it is what it is. But let's see if before I close, so let's see if I could get the meaning for the word. I have to go into the blue letter. Right. This is yappa here. Because I didn't think I would get the one for wife one time, but I basically get it here because I said let me explain something to you, right? Just what and I say you all fail to realize that what the real purpose the Lord put you all on this planet here for, right? And I should actually get that first. Let me see. This is Genesis 2:18. It says, and the Lord Yahweh, power, right, said, it is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him an helpmeet for him. You understand? And who was that helpmeet? It was Eve, right? We all know about this. But just still, I'm going to bring it out to ensure that, you know, it literally said help, right? So now, let's go back here, right? I told her, I said, do you know the meaning of the word wife? I said the word wife means woman. You know what the word woman means? The word woman means help, right? Look it's right here, right? I went into the word woman in Genesis 3 and verse 2, right? I went into the word woman. It says what? It says woman, wife, female, right? Woman, opposite of man, right? But B is what I like the most. It says wife, woman married unto a man, right? It says a woman, right? Now, this is the word for the word woman, right? So when I go into the root word, right? Because this one is the female, the next one here is the male, right? Gotta check them both. But this one here, right? It says what? Man, right? No, as it says in A, it says man, female, in contrast to woman and female. Because as you will use the word man, as it says human being, right? Like as a person, right? Human being, right? Person in God's contrast, right? So D is the main point. It says what? Servant, right? It says servant. So what is a servant? Someone who helps you, right? And that is literally what the word woman means, right? It's to be a servant, right? So you're supposed to serve your husband, just as how the husband serve Yahweh Bashim Shai, right? Think about it, right? Think about it. The things that the Lord asks us to do, right? Some men might feel, you know, it outlandish or it's so much thing to do, right? And of course, demons will jump on me too. You know, all the brothers went through this already, where the Lord require us to do certain things, and they might feel like, you know, oh, it's too much, or you might just feel lazy to do it. You understand? But we show the Lord that respect and that obedience that, you know, the Lord requests this of us. Let's put our best foot forward and, you know, try and do it. You know, because the effort is what mainly counts. Because we know we under grace and we in sinful flesh, so obviously we're not gonna get everything perfect, right? But just the fact that we're willing to go that extra mile for the Lord and do what He says, right? Because we know He's our husband, right? We had to listen to Him. We had to serve Him. You understand? Same thing with the woman, right? Giving that respect and that obedience unto your husband, right, is gonna earn you points with the Lord, right? Because that is how the Lord set it for you. It's just like how Yahweh say, hey, we can't come unto Him unless we go through the Son, right? Of course, the Lord know He's the Most High, right? Everything had to obey and bow to Him. You understand? But He set it so as you can't come to me unless you go through my Son, right? That's how I set it. So if you don't like my Son, you can't come to me. That's how I want it, right? Same thing with us, right? Yahweh Shai set it in a way you women cannot come to Him straight if it is you don't want to go through your husband or your father or a man on the whole. You understand? If you want to be, you can't be a demon to a man and bugging out and saying man and I independent and all them things, and then you're gonna go on your knees, cover your head and pray to the Lord and expect the Lord to answer you. Regardless how you feel, you could be how compassionate or how so-called genuine to the Lord. You could claim you love the Lord how much, right? The disrespect and these kind of things you women showing to your husband, right, and disobedience to your husband and all these things, right, the Lord would never answer your prayer. Because the same way, if we disrespect or disobey Yahweh Shai, you feel Yahweh gonna deal with us? Of course not. He's gonna put us to death. And that is why we're waiting a lot of you women. You're gonna be put to death for your proud look, right? Your outlandish thoughts and words. You understand? And just being straight up demons. You understand? You're not gonna put you all to death for these things because hey, y'all y'all reach the height of your wickedness now. Right? And still climbing. You know? But hey, I hope this lesson was edifying. I didn't expect this video to be so long. But hey, it is what it is. That's the spirit. You know? But till next time, shalom.